Hello, everybody. Man, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Been busy just doing other things. But yeah, I decided to do another Gamercast. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things that's been going on. And one of the main ones is plummeting graphic card prices. Man, who knew we will be in this moment that we'll be back talking about graphics cards, but not trying to convince you which is a good deal, because now pretty much all of them are a good deal. But I'm here to give each and every one of you I'm here to talk to you about each and every one of you about which one is actually a good deal at each price point and which type of resolution you want to game at. So first, let's actually start talking about why these cards have plummeted in price. And honestly, it is the antithesis of why the graphics cards gained in price in the first place. So during 2020, during the pandemic, AMD and NVIDIA decided to launch their next-gen graphics card, which is the 30 series for NVIDIA and the 6000 series for AMD. And so when they released these cards, AMD and NVIDIA kind of knew what was going to happen. So they launched these cards in a pandemic. Everything was cheap. People had a bunch of money to throw around. We were getting those, what do they call them? Stimmies, the stimulus checks. And we basically had just stupid buku money to just throw around and nothing to do with. So we were willing to spend money on these cards. So when these cards came out, not only there was a bunch of people who wanted them because they just had a bunch of money to throw around, there was a mining boom when a bunch of people a bunch of rich people, mining firms were like, okay, let's just buy a bunch of graphics cards, because one of the most efficient ways to mine coins, which were, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, is with a graphics card. I don't know exactly how it's done. I'm not a Bitcoin scientist, Ethereum scientist, or anything. I'm gonna just tell you, a lot of the commercials that you see about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a bunch of bullshit. It is not that easy to get Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. They're just lying to you. So during that time, all this stuff was going up, right? So everybody is just mining the hell out of these cards. Miners, and just the demand was just through the roof because a bunch of people had money. I mean, I'm just be honest. During the pandemic, I got thousands of dollars for free from both college and just stimulus checks. So I just had a bunch of money. So I was even in the market to buy a graphics card. But this is not about me. So what happened was those two just combining, everything just caused and of course shortages. There was during the pandemic. So a lot of times, these companies couldn't make a bunch of cards because they were locked down because of COVID. So a lot of the fabs, the place like TSMC, Intel fabs, all these people, that Samsung and all these people, they can't create this stuff because they went through lockdowns just like us. Even though they're in another country, sometimes other countries had even worse and stricter lockdown rules than the United States. So combine all that together, lockdowns, shortages, demand through the roof, Bitcoin just caused a massive, cars just skyrocketing in price. 3080s came out at $700, were selling for like $15 to almost $2,000. Like 3090s were over $3,000. 6800 XTs were about almost $2,000. 6900 XTs almost hit 3000. It was just a ridiculous time, and it lasted for so long. But then something happened around the beginning of this year. I started noticing prices of graphics card going down, and I kind of knew what was going on, but you know, a lot of people didn't understand. What was happening is that there was no more lockdowns, so now they were slowly beginning to meet demand. So you're starting to see graphics cards coming into stock a lot quicker. But of course, them coming into stock a lot quicker, it's like, okay, yeah, but that's not enough to cause prices to lower. But now prices are no longer these ridiculous prices are like $2,000 for a 3080. They're more like for almost $1,000 for a 3080. Still expensive, a little bit over MSRP. So then another thing that happened after that was these companies began to overspend. They began to buy way too many of these graphic cards. And around February, March, I started hearing rumors about Best Buy, Walmart, Micro Center. All of these tech stores have warehouses full of graphics cards. I started hearing these rumors and I started telling people about it. They didn't believe me because prices were still expensive. But I'm like, guys, we're about to see a crash in prices soon. And it started happening around April. We started seeing cards plummet in price. But then the final killing blow happened when China and the United States decided to begin to put regulation on coins, on the cryptocurrency. We saw a flood of miners started putting their graphics cards on eBay. I mean, guys, not lying to you. A 3080's MSRP is $1,500. You would think a used 3080 will sell for about $300 less, right? You know, you'll think that sounds about right for a 3090. About $300 less, so about $1,200, $1,100, right? Let me look up a 3090 right now. This is live pricing. It's live. Buy now. Not ending. I want to see the lowest price. Lowest price first on the buy now. You can buy a 3090 used right now for $950. Can you believe that? 3090s used are $950. Now, think about this. This is the price that I'm saying now. I'm going to look up what has sold item. There are 3090s that have been sold. I don't want to see. Ended recently. There are 3090s that have been sold as cheap as $690. There have been boxes of 3090s. This person sold 4 3090s for $3,000. This person sold 3 3090s for $2,700. Can you believe this? Think about that. These prices are plummeting. And that's just the 3090. Let me just humor me. Listen to me. Let's look up a 6600 XT. At one point, a 6600 XT was selling for about $600 to almost $700 on eBay. Someone just bought a 6800 XT for $189. You see, this is what happens. The antithesis of what caused graphics cards to get expensive has now caused graphic cards to get cheap. The demand is low because we're in a terrible economy. People have gas is over $4 a gallon. It costs $60 to fill up your damn tank. You think people want to buy a brand new graphics card right now? Hell no. There's, like I said, so the demand is down. Then the next thing, the mining. There was a crash in mining. It's so hard to now. Let me just see how much Bitcoin is worth. Bitcoin is only $20,000. So 1 month, 6 months. So just to put it in perspective, remember I told you around March? So you hear what I'm talking about. I told you guys around March. You can look this up for yourself. Around March, I started hearing that there's an overstock in graphics cards. So March the 29th was the highest that Bitcoin has been this year. It was at $47,000. And since then, it has plummeted all the way down to $20,000. In about less than 3 months, Bitcoin lost over half of its value, and it's still dropping. It is still dropping. Still dropping. Since today, Bitcoin has lost $150 of its value. Today, I'm recording this when it started at 12:10 a.m. yesterday to 12:10 now. It has lost $150 of its value. It is still plummeting. So people are beginning to flood the graphics card market with their graphics cards. So there's that. Companies overbought graphics cards because they just thought everybody was just going to buy it, because at the time it was a seller's market. All these companies was like, oh yeah, you want a 3080? Okay, $2,000. Now they're like, could you please buy our 3080? And I'm not lying to you guys. I'm dead ass. If you have Newegg, I have a Newegg account. I'm not lying to you guys. Every day they are advertising to me to buy new graphics cards. I'm dead ass. Every day they're like, oh yeah, this new graphics card is 30% off. Hurry up and buy. And I'm just looking at it like, I have a 6900 XT. I don't need a graphics card right now. But they're desperate. They're desperate, guys. And here's the main thing that is killing companies right now. It's because next gen graphics cards are coming out. AMD's 7000 series graphics card and NVIDIA's 40 series is coming out at the end of this year. And these cards are going to be ridiculously powerful. The 4090 and the 7900 or 7950 XT, whatever one they would decide to name it, are going to be roughly 2 times the power of this flagship. And these flagships are going to become the mid-range of next gen. So the 6900 XT is a card that's going to be around $400-$500 is going to be performance of a $1,000 card right now. So people are becoming more knowledgeable about this and not buying cards. Now, I tell you guys this all just to explain to you why these cards are dropping in price. What's causing them to go down in price? Why you're seeing these, just like I said, I'll just have all of these sites up. I'll have Newegg up because I look at Newegg pricing a little bit more than I do Amazon, because sometimes Amazon prices are just don't make sense. So how much is a 3080 on, if you don't get out my face, how much is a 3080 on Newegg, brand new. 3080 brand new on Newegg is selling for $769. Nice. It's basically MSRP, but you can get a 3080 on eBay. This is used, by the way. Around the same price, around $750. Yeah, around $700. A little bit cheaper. So I'm here to give you guys information what I believe is the best card to buy for each price point. So I'm gonna start off with the lowest resolution. If you're a 1080p gamer, you just care about gaming at 1080p with high refresh, I will say the best bang for buck card right now. How much is a 3060 Ti? Fucked up. So I will say the best bang for your buck, if you want a game at 1080p, is the 6600 XT. You can get a 6600 XT right now on eBay. I'm not going to show you the lowest price that it's sold at because, of course, you can't buy that. So there's no point of even discussing that. Right now, you can get a 6600 XT right now for $350. Price lowest. You can get a 6600 XT for around $250. That is a great deal. 6600 XT will pretty much kill every game that you want at 1080p. You won't have to have pretty much any problems. There's no really, of course, you won't have ray tracing performance, but who cares about ray tracing right now? If you want ray tracing performance, wait until next gen. And I'm gonna just tell you guys another thing too. You might be saying, well, I'll just wait. After what you just said, I'll just wait till next gen for their mid-range cards. I'm just telling you guys right now, AMD and NVIDIA are not releasing their next gen cards anytime soon because they're trying to get rid of all their current gen cards right now. Because why they're going to release the high end first because it's so much more powerful than what is on the market, and they can charge a pretty decent price for it. Not too expensive like they were trying to before. Like there was rumors that AMD was trying to almost charge $2,500 for the top card. That shit ain't happening. That shit is not happening. Guarantee you that. Maybe they can charge $1,800, but $2,500, that shit ain't happening. Tell you that ain't happening. But yeah, if you want the game at 1080p, the 6600 XT is a good card. I know a few people that have a 6600 XT right now. They game very well at 1080p. They can play any game they want to, from high graphical games to shooting games at high FPS. Great card. Great, absolute great card. And if you want a little bit more power and you want something that can game at 1080p but also give you some 1440p options, I would recommend honestly the 3070 over the 6700 XT. And the reason why you're probably thinking, oh, why not the 6700 XT? Well, the 6700 XT you can get on eBay for around $400. And by the way, guys, if you want to know if a guy is a good seller or not, look at their rating. If they have a higher rating, their eBay is no longer a place that you can get scammed, because eBay actually sells professionally and there's actual stores on eBay now. So you can look at somebody's rating. Like there's one person I'm looking at, it's a 10,752 rating. That means the man has made over 10,000 752 positive sales. Not sales, positive sales. He is a trusted buyer. So I would get a 3070 because the 6700 XT is like $400. Why you can get a 3070 for around $480, near $500. I will spend that extra $100 to $80 to $100 because the 3070 is more powerful than the 6700 XT. It uses less energy. You can ray trace games on it much better than the 6700 XT. Actually, let me check. What about the 6750 XT? How much is that selling on? Oh yeah. Stick with the 3070. Get the 3070. Actually, take that back. No. Do not get the 3070. I take that back. Take that back. Get the 6800. You can get a 6800 for around $500. More powerful than the 3070. Not great ray tracing, but it's so much better and raster. And you get 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So if you're a content creator, definitely helps you out. So I would recommend the 6800 if you want to game at like 1440p. It's $500, 16 gigabytes of VRAM. It's also it is on a whole tier higher than the 3070. So you can also do 4K gaming with that. But if you want to spend in the $400, I'll look at the 6700 XT. If your limit is $400, I'll look at the 6700 XT or the 3070. But if you can spend a little bit more going towards 500, look at the 6800. I used to own a 6800 non-XT. Great card. Played well. Played almost every game. It kills 10. I tell you right now, 6800 kills 1440p, and it can play games well as 4K. Not great, but well. If you want a game at 4K, I will say the best deal for a 4K card. I'm looking now. 3080. I'll say the 3080. I'll get a 3080. You can get a 3080 for around $700. How much is the 6900 XT? Whoa. That is dangerously close to a 3080. It's like $750 for a 6900 XT. It's dangerously close. I would still recommend a 3080. 3080 is a great card. I'll say go for those. If I were you, if you want. But here's the thing. If you're a budget gamer and you just want a card that just works for you, if you're a budget gamer and you just want a decent card that can play, you just want to play games, I will look for 6600 or 6600. Try to get a 6600. That is what I will try to get. It's the non-6600 XT. So if you're a budget gamer, I recommend the 6600 for you just want to create a PC and you just want to start gaming. Look at the AMD 6600. If you're a 1080p, you want to play games at 1080p, no compromise, I will get the 6600 XT. if you're a 1440p, if you want a game at 1440p, I recommend the 6800. But if your budget is around $400, I would try to get the 6700 XT. Or they created a new car called the 6700 non-XT. Just came out today, actually. Last time I saw it was $300. It was $380. It sold out because it was probably just too great of a deal, which I expect. So if you can get that, that would be great. And if you're looking at 4K, I'll get the 38. That's just my opinion. 4K 38. So that is what I will. If you, for your beginning of your build, those are what you're looking for. Now, we just can't talk about building something if we're not going to also talk about CPUs and everything. So now here's where I'm going to talk about CPUs. So guys, I'm pretty sure you know that AMD and Intel's next gen CPUs come out later this year. So here's my thing when it comes to you building your PC now. If you want to build a PC now, I recommend Alder Lake over AMD all day, every day. What AMD's platform right now is out right now is it's more future proof. It's a lot better bang for buck than AMD's. If you already have AM4, which is the socket for AMD right now, I will recommend you get the 5700X or the 5800X. Those are the only two CPUs. And if you can get a 5900X for pretty cheap, let me see, how much is the 59? This is where I want to check Amazon, because I don't mind checking Amazon for CPU prices. So how much is the 5900X? So 5900X is $380. $389. How much is it on 5900X? It's more expensive, actually. How much is it? 5800X. Fuck no, that's too expensive. That's way too expensive. Come on, man. 5700X. Okay, I recommend the 5700X. Now looking at their prices, I would not even get the 5800X. Don't even waste your time with that stupid CPU. Don't even waste your time. Get the 5700X. It's around $200 if you already have an AMD system. If you already have it. But if you are trying to build now, what I recommend for anybody is an Alder Lake system. And this is what you should get. You should get, here, now listen to me. You should try to get a B660 motherboard. B660. Those go for around $150. Try to get the ones with the Wi-Fi so you can also have Wi-Fi as well. So here's one. This is the MSI Mag B660 Montar. It's going for $169 right now, Newegg. Then there's also the Gigabyte B660 Gaming X AX 150. And also, here's another one. I already named that one. Where is the... Does this have Wi-Fi? No, that's why it's so cheap. You want to have a PC with Wi-Fi in it, you know, just because that also helps out with Bluetooth, because Wi-Fi, like motherboards with Wi-Fi built into it also have better Bluetooth, so you can have wireless controller. Just a pro tip right there for you guys. Damn it, where's the... So Asus also has a B660 motherboard that I would also recommend as well. B660. I'm gonna tell you guys the name of it real shortly as soon as I see it. Okay, it's the Asus TUF Gaming B660 Plus Wi-Fi. I actually bought this board for one of my friends. It's my friend's son. She wanted a PC built for him, and I have got this for them. Because it's basically the watered down version of the motherboard I have. So B660, the reason why I recommend, if you're building now, to get a B660 motherboard, you can use DDR4, which is still sort of the standard. I use an Alder Lake system with DDR4, so you're not really losing much with DDR4. You get PCIe Gen 4 and everything. All the slots are PCIe Gen 4, and you get up to 24 PCIe lanes. Just so you know what PCIe lanes are. A motherboard only can handle so many things that uses PCIe, which are graphics cards, NVMe drives, anything that hooks up to a PCIe slot. You only get 24 of them. Usually, most high-end graphics cards use up 16 lanes. There are lower-end graphics cards like the 6600 XT that uses 8 lanes. But most of the time, you count by a graphics card uses up 16 lanes. So 16 minus 24, you only have 8 lanes left. So that means you have 2 more slots left to add in an NVMe or something else, like a streaming, like a capture card. Because NVMe uses up 4, capture card uses up 4 usually. But if you have a 6600 XT, let's say you're building this with a 6600 XT, 8 minus 24, you still have 16 lanes left. That means you can add 2 more NVMe's and a a capture card. So just to put that in mind, so you know, I will recommend B660. So I'm gonna just tell you guys right now, I'm about to build the ultimate. Right now, I'm going to try to give y'all what I will consider the best under $1,000 PC right now. So you can get a 6600 XT right now for I'm about to bust out the calculator. So right now for $264, do that, $264, right? So you can get a B660 motherboard. That's what I recommend. I recommend that you get a B660 motherboard. That is the motherboard that you want to get because it gets you into Alder Lake, the next gen graphics cards. So I will get the cheapest of the B660 motherboard, which is the Gigabyte one, which is $150. So I'll get that one. So let's add that plus 264 plus 150. We're at $414. So here's the next thing. If you have the money, I recommend that you get a 12600K. Great CPU. Gives you 6 cores, 6 plus 4 cores, basically. It's basically a, well, I'll get the KF version, which should be cheaper. No, well, eBay, my Newegg has it on sale, which is around $250. It's $260. This is a great CPU, but if you're balling on a budget, I will look at the 12400F. What is the 12? I remember they do have a 12500. I don't think you need that. No. Look at the 12400F. It's a 6-core CPU. Gets you in the door. It's $150 right now. And on Amazon, how much is the 12400 I'm going for? It's a 6-core CPU, as strong as a 5600X. You'll get to play all your games that you want to at 1080p. Great. You won't have great multi-core performance, but this is just to get you in the door in gaming. You're trying to build a card under $1,000, right? Hold on. So I will get this. It will get you into the door. So it's $155. So plus $155. So now we got your 4 main components out the way. We got your graphics card, the motherboard. The 3 main components. Got the graphics card, the motherboard, and the CPU. You've only spent $570. We still have $430 to play with in your PC bill. It'd be under $1,000, right? So you have that $569. So now you need RAM, which is the easiest thing to get right now is the RAM. I recommend that you guys always get. I recommend that you all guys get 32 gigabytes of RAM because that is sort of where the gaming market is going. But you don't have to get 32 gigabytes of RAM right now. You can just get 16 gigabytes. But let's see how much 16 gigabytes of RAM is going for right now. Because the motherboards I'm giving you has 4 slots. Right? It has 4 slots. So you can put two 16 gigabytes of 16 gigabytes of RAM is going to be 2 8 sticks. If you put another 2 8 sticks into your thing, it'll be 32. So you don't have to worry about that right now. If you want RGB RAM is a little bit more expensive. But here, the whole point of what I'm doing right now is trying to build a PC under $1,000. So even though RGB RAM is only like about $10 or $20 more expensive, if you want the bling, go get it. I don't see the point in it for this build. Oh, this RAM sucks. So there's this RAM right here. There's this Team Group RAM that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to look at. Do not buy it. You know why? Because it's CL622 RAM. That is slow as shit. Do not buy that RAM. That RAM is terrible. Get the Silicon Power, which is a great company, by the way. I've bought their RAM before. Great RAM. Get their Silicon Power RAM right now. It's $46 for 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let's add that to the budget. Plus, well, it's not 46, it's 47. Add that to the budget, 47. So now we're at $616. So we got the motherboard, the case. We have the motherboard, the RAM, CPU, and the graphics card. Now we need to look for a case. And the case that I recommend that you guys look for is Phanteks. Phanteks has a great case. It is what I consider the best airflow case, but it also gives you RGB RAM at the same time for a cheap, not so cheap price anymore. Never mind. It used to be $90. Now it's $100. Let me check eBay. XPG case. Okay, here we go. Does it come with? So there's this case on eBay that I kind of recommend to everybody is called the XPG Stalker Air Black mid-tower case. It's $80. It gives you RGB. It has airflow, all of that. It is a great case. The reviews on it are really good. Great case. I will look. This is the case that I will get, actually. So it's $79.99, which is $80. Great price for a case. So I'll add that to the budget. Now we're at about $700. We have $300 left. So we have the on the motherboard, the graphics card, the CPU, RAM, and the case. All we need left now is the NVMe power supply, and that's really it. And of course a cooler. If you don't want to use Intel's crappy cooler, I recommend not to, but if you want to, go ahead. But I'm not going to use it because it's a crappy cooler. So we have, so if you want to look for a power supply, just starting off, I recommend that you get a 650 watt power supply. Let's look up good 650 watt power supply. Ooh, EVGA has a 650 Supernova, EVGA Supernova 650 GT power supply is only $64. This is a great deal. I highly recommend this power supply. It gives you enough juice to kind of future-proof your thing. So if you want to get a more powerful graphics card now, I'm not saying, oh, actually, I will get this one over. I will get the EVGA Supernova 120 GP. This one is a couple of dollars more, but it gives you a lot more slots. So I recommend this because 650 watts is kind of overkill for what the system that you have now. But let's say you want to upgrade your CPU to like a 12600K, and you want to get, let's say, the 4070 or the 7700 XT. This power supply will be able to handle that. 650 watts will be able to handle that. So I recommend this power supply, $70. So let's add that to the budget. We're at $766. All that we need now is a cooler and NVMe drive. All you need is a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. You don't really need a 2 terabyte, and you don't really need a Gen 4. If you want to, you can get it, but we don't even use Gen 4 speeds yet. You can always use your next NVMe slot as your NVMe, as your Gen 4 NVMe for like gaming. Go on Amazon, there's this Western Digital NVMe for $80. I kind of don't want to give you guys the eBay prices because you'll have to go through so much to find a good price on eBay. So I kind of don't want to put y'all through that. So there's this Western Digital one right now. $79 is $80. It's a Western Digital 1 terabyte green SN 350. That is $80. So plus $80. So we got that. And then the final thing that you will want is a cooler. We have this cooler. I highly recommend to anybody building. It is the Saifuma 2 Rev B. This is the best CPU cooler bang for your buck on the market. It's not flashy, but it gets the job done, and it can handle any CPU that you throw at it. I highly recommend this one. It's only for $66. Highly recommend this cooler. So we added to the budget to $66. So for under $1,000, for $912, I built you a 1080p King. Just to put under, just tell you what we got. We got a 6600 XT. We got a B660 motherboard. We got the 12400F. We got a 1 terabyte NVMe. We got a 650 watt power supply. We got a pretty good case that gives you RGB fans already. We got a nice cooler, great cooler, Saifuma 2. And we got you 16 gigabytes of RAM for all under $1,000. You have $80 to spend on bling. Like, let's say you want to get more RGB fans. I highly recommend that you look at these fans. These are Fantech. These Fantech RGB fans. Okay. Highly recommend these fans. Fantech comes with a pack of 3. They're called the Fantech SK120 DRGB PWM fans. They're only $34 for a pack of 3 RGB fans. Great fans for you to use in your PC build, that if you want to add some bling. But if you don't want to add bling and you just want performance, these are the fans that I highly recommend. Not very expensive, but great fans. The Noctua Redux fans are great fans. Great fans. They give you great performance. I have Noctua Reduxes in my PC right now. You don't want to get you want to get the if you want a good airflow, I'll get the 1700 RPM ones, or if you want the bigger ones, which are the 140 millimeter, that's the one that's 1500 RPM. Great fans to cool your PC. I love my Noctua fans. I've had them in my PC for over 2 years now. Haven't missed a beat. But that is all for me for now. This was very fun to be back on the podcast with you guys. Next time I will have a guest on so we can talk and debate about what is out there when it comes to newer tech. But I just wanted to give you guys a good PC gaming gamer tech guide, because I feel like there's a lot of people on YouTube that are making their guides about what is the best thing to buy right now for a $1,000 PC, and they're giving you terrible lists. This is honestly a really good list. I put a lot of effort into it to look at what is the best prices for you guys, and I will make sure that I have on the screen of what to buy, and I will try to put a link in the description of where you can find all of this stuff at. So thank you guys for listening to me. Hope next time I'll have a guest. We'll be talking about gaming consoles, next gen graphics cards, and everything what you expect. So until then, guys, this is the Gamercast, and Kenny Hoon out.